Alright. The next unit to talk about are vehicles. Looking at a vehicle, it's obvious to see that basically it has the same stuff. It's got one damage value, speed value, an attack value, a range, a defense value, front and rear arc. Basically all the same, except vehicles are set on a oval shaped dial. So if it's on an oval shaped dial, it's a vehicle. That's simple enough. Vehicles can fill any role. They are great as heavy hitters. Some even have damage values that rival mechs. They're great for long-range barrage, artillery. In fact, most of the artillery pieces are vehicles. They're great for repairs. In fact, most of the repair pieces are vehicles. Same goes with transports. In fact, I'm not sure if there is any mech transports, or I think there might be one. Yeah, there are a couple, but most of the transports are vehicles. And air support. So vehicles provide a wide range of roles. Whatever you need a vehicle for, you'll find it. Vehicles cost more than infantry. Sometimes they can be cheap, around maybe 30 points for a small light tank or a hovercraft or something. Sometimes they can cost over 100 points. If they're a huge, big, massive tank, like a Mars tank, those things are huge. They cost about 105 points about. So yeah, if you're gonna invest in a tank that costs a lot, be sure to protect it well. Protect your investment, because you don't want to, be 3 turns into the game and all of a sudden your, Mars tank is now missing a track and can't move at all, and its damage value is now reduced to nil. It really hurts the heart. And usually 3 to 4 damage is usually enough to seriously hinder a vehicle's performance. That's usually about it. So if you're fighting against a heavy tank, if you can get about 3 or 4 clicks of damage in, it's usually enough to, have put a nice dent in it. Reduce its attack value or damage value by about 2 or 3 points. Tanks or vehicles in general, are good in either solo or in formation. So, well, whatever you need them for. Again, like tanks, I really can't say all too much about vehicles. They're good for really anything. You're gonna have to play to actually figure out how you're gonna use vehicles the best. And I really can't say all too much. I can give a few tips. There are a few vehicles with pulse. These are really good choices, because with pulse, if a mech uses pulse, it takes an additional heat. If a vehicle uses pulse, since they don't have any heat dial, they don't take an extra heat. They just get to do the extra double damage. Make sure you have a specific plan for the vehicle that you choose. While they can fulfill a large role, usually no vehicle can perform more than one role. If it's a transport, make sure it's doing transporting work, not fighting on the front lines. Those are meant for your heavy hitter tanks. If it's a heavy hitter tank, don't expect it to be zooming around back and forth, taking pot shots off every unit, since they're probably only going to have a speed of about 6. Keep them protected, because they are a heavy investment. They can get expensive, but again, don't be afraid to use them. Alright, and if you need to retreat them, then go ahead, but don't hold back if they're meant to be used. You don't want to lose these too early in the game, but if you're not using them and they're just kind of turtling around in the back, just kind of driving around mountains and stuff, you're not getting the most out of them, and it's really not doing you any good. Also, even though vehicles are a lot more powerful than infantry, they have a lot more to give. don't push them. Try not to push them too much or at all, because they can, they still only get one order a turn, like, or they can only have one order per turn without getting pushed and taking a damage. And remember that 3 to 4 damage is usually enough to seriously hinder a vehicle's performance. The only time I would really ever push a vehicle is if it's in a movement formation, and then it wouldn't take it would get to do an extra order, and it wouldn't take a damage, and so long as the next turn my enemy couldn't take a shot at him. So that's basically it on vehicles. I guess the next episode is just going to be mechs.